Hey, thanks for tuning in on my talk on well-being at home. People love their homes. A research study from 2018 showed that half of all respondents were spending more time at home than before. Our recent COVID experiences have reinvigorated this trend. When asked in a survey last year, 78% of all respondents stated that they felt safest at home during the pandemic. Never has there been a better time to innovate the home. When life is rough and we need healing, we want to be at home. Home means being well. What's less obvious is that well-being today goes much beyond safety, comfort, or convenience. With new generations facing a world in change and turmoil, the question of what people need to be well isn't that straightforward anymore. Today, I will share my views on why we must reassess our traditional understandings of well being in order to innovate the home. Whatever your field of expertise, my intention today is to encourage you to reconsider what people really need to be well and to venture beyond the comfort zone of your own industry. My name is Joon. I'm Managing Director with Phoenix Design. We design innovative product experiences for companies that want to create richer lives for people. A warm welcome once again to my talk about well-being at home. The idea that home means well-being is deeply rooted into humanity. History shows us that homes have changed much over time. To this very day, though, the fundamental cornerstones of how homes supported personal well-being haven't. In essence, homes protect us from dangers, they comfort us, and they make sense of change, be it technological change or cultural change. Homes have always contributed to well-being by protecting us from the dangers of the outside world. When building a home wasn't exactly a very popular concept, people simply sought natural shelter to protect themselves against foul weather, terrifying animals, or other dangers out there. The concept of keeping out evil is quite old. Some of the oldest man-made paintings in caves were dated by scientists to be more than 40,000 years old. Homes have always provided a comprehensive sense of comfort beyond just physical necessity. When man-made housing finally came into existence, well-being at home took the form of sitting around a fireplace, which provided all those good things that life had to offer. Safety, yes, but also light, warmth, food, and company, some of the most important ingredients, even today, for comfort. The concept of the central fireplace was true on a larger scale as well. The great halls of the past were a one-stop shop, really, for eating, sleeping, socializing with friends and families, servants and masters alike. Social life happened here, in one room. Homes have always helped people to make sense of technological and cultural change. In Victorian England, for example, the broad availability of mass-manufactured goods turned drawing rooms into aspirational dog and pony shows intended to show off one's sophisticated taste. Ultimately, though, this display of status was simply another expression of being well by being admired. And even Hollywood, as a prime example of technocultural change, had a huge impact on how people explored new ways of well-being at home. Following some of those lavish bathtub scenes in 1930s Hollywood, the bathroom suddenly became a place of self-indulgence and privacy, whereas before bathrooms were really mostly functional or social spaces. From the introduction of industrialized light to phones and movies, influences from beyond the home have always spawned new desires, new practices, and new expressions of well-being at home. What struck me most during research was that in the past, change often came in disguise of furniture, it's quite easy to imagine how this beautiful radiogram from the 50s blended seamlessly into stylish 50s living rooms where people gathered around it to listen to what's new in the world. We can see quite the same thing happening with the modern fireplace, the TV. One of the reasons why the TV is still considered indispensable to this very day is that it was successfully established as a natural part of any proper living room that afforded family comfort. Up to this day, I think you can all agree, the couch potato setup is really a must have for well being at home. So, in order to make people feel well at home, we need to consider how change, such as technology, can be naturally integrated into people's lives. These rather quirky gossip benches are not popular anymore, but they are a great examples of how naturally the industry back then reacted to people's telephone behaviors. This too was ultimately an expression of social well being. Today, the desire for well being has become rather explicit. In fact, the world's largest consumer demographic, millennials and post millennials, have turned well being into a lifestyle, but this time with a much more difficult challenge. For these generations, mental and spiritual health topics are quite important. A study conducted last year revealed that almost half of millennials and post millennials suffer from stress and anxiety all or most of the time. This is also reflected in the broad popularity of mindfulness practices such as yoga or meditation. This is not simply a matter of a few people being esoteric, but actually a $1 billion business. According to a research study, by 2027, customers worldwide will spend 4 billion US dollars on meditation apps alone. The second big change in our reality is not a new change at all. Connected experiences have been creeping into our lives for a long time. What's different now, though, is that digital experiences and activities are firmly appreciated by everyone to be as real and as valuable as physical experiences. In fact, people will spend half of their 60 years of adulthood in front of screens. You might find this fact more or less agreeable, but it's hard to deny that activities taking up 30 years of lifetime will not influence how we live at home or how we think about well being. From remote doctor's appointments to remote celebrations, COVID has shown us how real and vital digital experiences can be for our well being. With COVID confining so many to their homes, the home suddenly had to house many other activities. Probably the most obvious example of domestic disruption was working from home. A recent survey showed that 33% of all respondents wished for a dedicated home office space. At the same time, COVID has amplified many desires and behaviors aimed at staying sane. It's no surprise that many are trying to process illness and death with things that impart a sense of life, love, and hope. This also explains a heightened interest in plants and gardening, or that people increasingly pursue hobbies such as crafting, yoga, or painting to digest anxieties and confusion. Or that many these days also turn to acquiring a new animal companion. In a recent UK study, 74% of all respondents confirmed that their pet helped them to maintain their mental health during COVID lockdown. This data proves that well-being today is a concept that is broader and more complex than we understood it in the past. People's expectations towards how homes should support their well-being raise tricky questions for the furniture industry. For example, what does the desire for mindfulness mean for a kitchen manufacturer? Or how should sofa manufacturers deal with the increased interest in animal companions? These cultural changes should be a wake up call for all of us. Instead of creating more of the same, the furniture industry should recall their original intention, which is not creating furniture, but creating life at home. Take this bed, for example. Beds are wonderful things, essential for well being, but their original intention is not softness or size or being stylish, but really better sleep. I believe that companies selling products for better sleep should own the entire spectrum of sleep related issues, not just beds. In future, consumers might spend less money on beds and more on other solutions for good sleep. In fact, some of the most interesting innovations around sleep come from companies not related to beds but other fields. Somnox here, for example, offers a huggable robot that helps people to fall asleep with breathing motions. Or take the mattress manufacturer Casper. They observed bedtime behavior and created a connected bedside lamp, even though they started out making only mattresses. And even media companies are now in the business of providing sleep. Restflix, for example, is a company that provides video content specifically designed to make people fall asleep while watching it. The point I want to make with these examples is not that we must stop making beds. That's not the point. But when thinking about innovating your business, do remember what you're actually selling and have the courage to allow ideas beyond your expertise. IKEA, for example, teamed up with the gaming PC brand and now sells gaming chairs, which also happen to be great for working. Or take Panasonic, a company known for everything else really but furniture. They have provided a cubicle desk for the home as they realized that working from home is not just a matter of having a desk, but that a work environment requires privacy and focus. And sometimes all it takes is to understand which great side effects your products also have. When the company Room realized that the privacy of their office phone booths was also great for gathering yourself, they teamed up with the leading mindfulness brand Calm and created a special edition and became a mindfulness brand themselves. Same product, new meaning. All companies in these examples clearly understood the intention of their work and were not afraid to venture beyond the traditional borders of their business imagination. Whatever your expertise, I'd like to encourage you to do the same. Move beyond the comfort zone of your industry and you will be rewarded. We've seen today that well-being has come a long way and is more than just being safe or feeling comfy. As we speak, millions of people out there expect their homes to solve invisible problems that are hard to grasp and even harder to solve. If we want innovation to be meaningful, though, we must have the courage to engage such difficult topics, even if they are beyond our industrial comfort zones. And engaging these topics simply means that we must continuously be committed to understanding how people live. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the talk. If you'd like to continue the discussion on well-being, do feel free to reach out. Cheers and be well.